I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Welcome.
All right. Now, son, Craig, your mama told me you got fired today. How you get fired on your day off? No, I'm sorry. Welcome to Total Apex Media Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Corey. Joining me, as always, is Molly, Michelle, and Brandon. There is no Andrew tonight. We buried him somewhere. Find out where at the end of the podcast.
You weren't supposed to say anything.
He's on a secret mission.
You're supposed to keep a secret.
They have to, but they're going to know by the end of the podcast. That's how they stick around.
Oh, yeah.
Secret mission.
Good grief. How's everybody?
Before the hour's up.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yeah. Anything special going on with you guys?
I fixed my well because I was out of water for 2 days.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm not joking, people.
I'm not joking. It was very tragic. Thankfully, I got it mostly done for free because my cousin came and helped me fix it. Yay!
Nice.
Yay for Molly's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsung hero. Love
Shout out to Molly's cousin. He's
Yeah.
probably not watching, but shout out anyway.
No. Nah, he's asleep.
I actually had kind of an interesting, I would say, session. First off, I go to therapy, everybody. So I'm throwing that at everybody. If you need therapy, go to it. All right, everybody has wonders. Second off, I got to my little group therapy, and there's snacks all over the place for the first time ever. I see cupcakes, bananas, apples, and stuff. I sat there like a fat man in today. I began the session with a cupcake, and I left with a cupcake today.
That is the best session. Best session.
Oh, it was awesome. Another thing that kind of happened was I might potentially have a business thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Interesting. Can't wait.
Yeah. But guys, for now, this week on the podcast, we're talking, of course, NFL, NBA updates, of course, Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
Pokemon.
And of course, the controversy that is going on.
And more recalls. I
gotta let me finish.
Listen, man, host. Come on,
Brandon, take that crown off. Give it to Molly.
Yeah.
Take it.
Controversy at the BAFTAs, and of course, the recalls, as always, with Miss Michelle. But first, get your hoops, throw your ball, get your Marty Supreme on. Because he played ping pong in that one movie.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we need the Marty Supreme versus Forrest Gump movie now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
I'd watch
it. It is sports with Brandon Ellis.
We're going to start off with some sad news in the world of the NFL. Former Cardinals and Vikings receiver Rondale Moore unfortunately passed away over the weekend at the age of 25. He was struggling with some mental health stuff, and it apparently was ruled a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Indiana over the weekend. It's hard to tell still because it's ongoing still investigation. But everyone here at Total Apex, wants to wish his family condolences and everything like that, and rest in peace to Rondell. He was a talented football player. I remember one play when he was at Purdue against Ohio State, caught a little bubble screen out to the left and broke like 3 tackles to get the end zone, and that inspiring win. So Rondell Moore was a great player, a baller. Just gone too soon. You just hate to see that. Bradley Bozeman.
Real quick, how old was he?
25.
25. And do we have a number for if anybody's dealing with
the mental health?
I do.
Go ahead, Michelle.
So I just shared a link in the comments. And so this is a really good resource. You can actually go to the 988lifeline.org. You can also call 988, or you can even send a text message to 988. They have chat available online as well. You're never alone, and you deserve to be here, and you make the world a better place. So if you're going through something, reach out.
Well said. Well said. Next topic. Bradley Bozeman, former Chargers center, this past season has announced his retirement from the league. He has been a longtime veteran at that position. And O-line play, you see these retirements happen, a lot in the offseason. So great career from Bozeman. Was a good center. And also in that same through line of offseason moves update, Kyle Pitts will be Atlanta Falcons tight end will be franchise tagged as before the deadline for the franchise tag. He was drafted with the 4th overall pick in his draft class, and he's one of the best tight ends, one of the best young tight ends in the league. So it was to be expected for Atlanta to make this decision to franchise him and hopefully get an extension worked out with him. On to the next topic here. The officials, the NFL Competition Committee, has stated that they're going to try to replay to flag non-football acts that the refs miss on the field. I don't know if y'all watched the Super Bowl. They had Josh Jobe on the sideline punching Stephon Diggs, and they missed that call. It should have been a 15-yard penalty on Jobe and moved the Patriots up the field a little bit. So it's one of those situations with that now with this change, if it happens, you can flag it if they see it via replay. It's like back a couple years ago, they try to replay pass interferences they missed. So we'll see how that goes and everything. The NFL Scouting Combine is later this week. We will have a deep dive on that on Friday's show. So tune in to Friday's show for the NFL Scouting Combine. The UFL is about to start this spring, and they have some new rule changes as well. The tush push. Everyone knows what the tush push is.
I do not know what the
What
tush
is
push
it?
Explain what the UFL is and the tush push.
Yes, I will explain to you. The United Football League is what the UFL stands for, and it's a alternative NFL. Basically, it's another league. Another league for like some of the players don't get an opportunity in the NFL to go play. It's a combination of the USFL and the XFL. They combine, they merge. That's why it's United Football League. The tush push. The tush push is a very maligned play in the NFL right now. With it's basically you get under center, you hike it, you run the quarterback sneak, but you have 2 guys pushing behind you to get the the extra force to get the first down. The Eagles ran into very successful before last year. The NFL didn't expect anyone to try to ban it this year, but the UFL is going to ban it now. So, which is it is what it is. The 60-yard field goals. A lot of kickers now can kick from 50 plus easily. and stuff like that. But now with the UFL, if you kick a 60-yarder, it's going to be 4 points instead of the traditional 3 points for every field goal, which is an interesting wrinkle. Another interesting wrinkle they're going to do is no punting from inside the opponent's territory once you cross the 50. So no punting, you have to go for everything, which might create more field goal opportunities from 60 plus to get the 4 points, or more big plays down to try to get the big play down the field, or arm punt. It might still be an arm punt, but the next topic on the docket is the Detroit Lions were officially announced to play Munich, Germany. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has his heritage is from in Germany, so it'd be a homecoming for him. And the Lions next year will be the home team for that Munich game. So keep an eye on the schedule when it comes out in May to see who the opponent is. But on to the NBA and WNBA updates from this week. Last night we had two of the top contenders in the league in each conference play each other last night. And the Spurs 114-103 win over the Detroit Pistons in Detroit last night. What a game there between the top two teams. The Pistons showed that they were going to be physical with Wembanyama all night long, but it didn't matter, for them. And then Stephon Castle had a big game as well to contribute to that big victory for the Spurs. The Spurs, they're just one of those teams, man, that they're going to be a threat for the Thunder in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Pistons, they're still going to be the top Eastern Conference teams. Last night doesn't change anything. It's just tough to guard Wembanyama. Like you have to have like three people on them, and it still don't matter. So there's that bit of news. The WNBA has set a deadline for the CBA. The CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, has been going on for so long, as most people know. It's been going on way too long, and they want to try to get the season still on track. The deadline is now March 10th to get the CBA agreed upon. And even when they get the CBA agreed upon, they still have to do the expansion draft for the two new teams in Portland and Toronto. Have to get the expansion draft done and free agency done. And then they will go on to their normal swing of things of the draft and training camp and all that stuff for the May start date. So hopefully, cross our fingers, because the WNBA has been popular the last couple of years with Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers arriving to the league, and hopefully we get some WNBA basketball starting on time. If it don't get past 5 to 10, you can expect like a lockout. Now moving on to the Winter Olympics update, the final update. Norway won with 41 medals overall. Norway had an excellent Olympics, but the big story is the Team USA. They finished second in overall medal count with 33, and set a record for 12 gold medals for a singular Winter Olympics performance, including winning for the first time since the Miracle on Ice a gold medal in men's hockey. That game was phenomenal on Sunday. Props to Canada for playing a great game as always. But Jack Hughes in the overtime period scores the winner within 2 minutes of the period. Great performance from the U.S. Now there has been some controversy involving the White House and all that with the celebrations and stuff like that, but that doesn't take away what the men did. And what the women did, and what everyone did for Team USA at these Olympics. And then my last topic on sports for this evening is, speaking of another format with international, the World Baseball Classic's coming up in baseball. It's basically the baseball's version of the World Cup, the Olympics, stuff like that. So it's coming up in March, and the U.S. was going to have all their best pitchers and the best team they've had in a while in the World Baseball Classic. to make up for the loss in 2023 to Japan. Now, they might not have their best pitchers for the whole tournament, as Tarek Skubal announced yesterday that he will only be pitch in one game, and then he'll go back to Tigers training camp. Now, Tarek Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball. He's won the last couple of AL Cy Youngs, and he's an upcoming free agent this year. So from his perspective, he wants his contract, and he wants to make sure he gets his money, and that's the way it should be. And I understand from his perspective. But if you want to enter the World Baseball Classic and represent Team USA, you should commit to Team USA throughout the duration of the tournament and you get used for how many games as possible. Because, Team Japan's going to be committed. The Dominican Republic is going to be committed for all their games, whoever's there, so forth and so forth. So it is important to, that we need to emphasize Team USA first before the MLB. Granted, I get the MLB is more important, and this is like what happens when it's like in the preseason of baseball, this tournament, but it's really the only time for this tournament to be played because you can't play it afterwards, because, baseball's already over with, and it only can really be played in the warmer cities and, and stuff like that. So with the format of the tournament. So I get why it's an issue, but it's an issue that the U.S. will have to deal with. Now, granted, they still have Paul Skeens in the rotation, Joe Ryan in that rotation, along with a great bullpen and great offense. So I'm not concerned about Team USA moving forward in the WBC, but this is a big blow to the WBC chances for the U.S. But with that being said, I am Brandon Ellis, and this has been your sports.
Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, I let me be the one to do this for the USA, but USA. Let's start like Detroit. Let's start flipping things.
Yes.
My desk is too heavy. I can't do that.
Yeah, we're all tired.
I'm too lazy.
I don't want to break my stuff.
I don't want to break the stuff either.
My legs hurt. All right.
It's too expensive.
All right. Well, everyone, of course, this week you guys heard that there has been some controversy at one of the award shows, and we're getting into it right here on Entertainment. The BAFTAs happened over the weekend, and while we should be talking about one battle after another, winning about 6 awards, or Robert Aramo's Mayo's surprise Best Actor win, we're not tonight. Instead, we're focused on what happened when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo took the stage. Now, fair warning, this has to do with a word that a lot of people don't enjoy. Me being myself, one of them, All right, so John Davison, who was the subject of the film I Swear, which is about his life with Tourette's syndrome, was in the audience. And throughout the ceremony, he had involuntary verbal tics, and it's part of his condition. But when Jordan and Lindo presented the award for Best Visual Effects, Davison shouted the N-word. And honestly, the fallout for this has been pretty intense. All right, so here's the thing, and I really want to be clear about this. Tourette syndrome can cause involuntary verbal tics, including what's called coprolalia. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Where people, socially shout, inappropriate and offensive words they don't mean. And the audience had been told about Davison's condition before the show started. Host Alan Cumming even addressed it during the ceremony, asking for understanding and creating a respectful space for everyone. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't erase the pain it caused. Mm-hmm. Right? Delroy Lindo told Vanity Fair that he and Jordan did what they had to do on stage. They're professionals. They kept the show going. He just wishes that someone from the BAFTAs would have spoke up afterwards, meaning kind of like right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that hit hard. These men were put in like pretty much an impossible situation, and the lack of immediate support, that was the problem. So people like Jamie Foxx and Wendell Pierce both spoke out on social media. Pierce said the first reaction should have been complete and full-throated apology to Lindo and Jordan, of course. Fox called it unacceptable. And, and I'm not going to lie, they're not wrong. These people are hurt just by that. And I think they're more probably hurt by not him actually saying the actual word itself, but how it's been handled. From what I'm seeing. The BBC also, of course, dropped the ball. They aired the ceremony with a 2-hour delay, but didn't edit out any kind of slur. So they literally, this is an award show that's on the other side of the world. If everybody understands.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like they should have been on the ball, because they know that they're going to re-air it on something like BBC iPlayer, for other people to watch. People who can't, who either have that service on their computer over there, or for people who, can get that service here in America. So,
yeah.
BBC, of course, has removed it from the iPlayer. Don't know if it's going to be back on the iPlayer anytime soon. Of course, Davidson released a statement saying that he was deeply mortified, and I'm sure he is. Honestly, I'm sure he is mortified, and that his tics are involuntary and don't reflect his beliefs. Emma McNally, CEO of Tourette's Action, emphasizes that tics aren't intentional, and call for more education and compassion. And of course, she's right. This is a complex situation, but complexity doesn't mean we ignore the very real impact on Jordan and Lindo.
Yeah. At the very least, they should have been issued an apology from all parties involved.
Right. Right. Doctors have, of course, issued their own statement and has begun a comprehensive review of what happened. Of course, this has caused one of the jury members to resign over the organization's handling of this. The whole situation, of course, is messy, and it's just honestly, it's been two different, like, people have two different sides to it. Some people are like, well, if this is supposed to be live, what's going on, or is this pre-recorded and whatnot? Like, they don't know. So, how are you guys feeling? Because I know it's a sensitive subject, but I want to hear.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's, well, like I said a minute ago, the bare minimum is that the fact that there should have been apologies from all parties involved, except for, the two gentlemen that were on the stage that had to be subjected to that. Because historically speaking, that word has not been not in the top 10 words to ever say to anybody on this freaking planet. But the fact that I'm actually pretty amazed that they kept their cool, because I'm pretty sure somebody like me probably would have popped off in the crowd. So the fact that they maintained like a certain amount of dignity is pretty cool. But I think the BAFTA committee, or whatever it is they call themselves, did a very poor job.
There you go. There you go.
A very poor job of handling the situation, because from what I was told earlier today, because we did talk about it a little bit, that they had censored a lot of like profanity and everything in earlier segments. Why didn't they censor it for the live in this? Because there's always going to be a delay in a live showing of anything. It's just the way the lines work and how the internet works for a lot of times. So what made them decide, like, hey, this is fine, we don't need to bleep that out? And so I'm like, there's this whole, like, there's an accountability issue, and BAFTA is, like Corey said, is basically making light of the situation, just sweeping it under the rug, like, oh, it's fine. It's not.
Yeah, I definitely agree that there needed to be a reaction, a quicker reaction, and they should have censored it, at least for the broadcast purpose. Obviously there was no way to prevent it from being heard at the event itself. The gentleman who said it, John Davidson, he was upset by what happened, and he left the room,
right,
in reaction to what he had said.
right.
And I feel very badly for what happened. I cannot fathom what that feels like, because I can't. It's just not my experience. But I think one of the important things is just to make sure that that Davidson is not being blamed or held accountable, because he could not stop it from happening. There's, so if he had done it intentionally, I don't think he would have gotten up and left.
No.
So he is obviously very hurt and upset. And I did see some stuff out there where, obviously the internet, don't read the comments, but I did, people saying that, oh, well, he must have done it on purpose because there were black men on stage and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not how it works. And, I feel that it's just important to make sure that everybody understands that what he goes through is a neurological disorder. It's not something that he has control over. Right. Otherwise, why on earth would he continue to do it? Like,
yeah.
Right. And I honestly, I will say this. I encourage everybody to watch Davidson's film just to kind of get a better understanding of not only just his condition, but of the Tourette's condition. Even look up and, as somebody who has been on the other end of that word, who has been called that word before and everything, like I totally understand. But there's going to be people out there who are going to try to paint this man as a straight racist now, unfortunately.
And that kind of sets the Tourette's community back, because they have tried, like, for years, just like how a lot of disabled communities have tried to make their lives not about their disability, like try to empower themselves, because they're not just their disability or something like that. But now people are going to wonder, well, why this person who just spouts off like weird comments, is this like their actual personality rather than just something that they cannot control themselves?
Yeah.
Right. So the question now is, how do the BAFTAs do better next time? How does any award show prepare for this? So you guys, of course, leave a comment or something. Let us know what you guys are thinking, of course. Moving on to the next story, on a lighter story. Yes. Ryan, speaking of Michael B. Jordan, his buddy / director for Sinners, Ryan Coogler, is doing X-Files, the reboot, and the truth is out there again.
Ooh, are we? Oh, we have an opinion. It's the editor's fault.
All right, Ryan Coogler's reboot for the X-Files is finally happening, and Hulu just greenlit the pilot. This feels like the 90s all over again because, from my understanding, they've also might have greenlit Buffy the Vampire Slayer too. So, hey. And Scrubs is Scrubs
no.
is back tomorrow.
No,
Scrubs is back.
We already
Buffy's back. Scooby Doo's back.
Oh my God.
We already have the spiritual successor of that medical drama. I think it's called ER with The Pit.
The Pit, yeah, and it's got the
Pit is actually really good.
It is basically if you want to get like a modicum closer to how a real life emergency room trauma center works, then I would watch The Pit. There's still some inaccuracies, but anyway.
So this has been in the works for a while. Coogler, fresh off the success of Sinners, which has basically made BAFTA histories almost, this past year, has been attached to this project for years now. Years. So the original X-Files creator, Chris Carter, first mentioned it back in 2023, saying Coogler is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. So I can kind of see it like this in my picture perfect. Have a new cast members, of course, and everything, but sprinkle a little bit of the legacy. Like have Mulder show up every once in, like Mulder show up maybe an episode or two or something, Even Scully. So we just got our first announcements for our first cast member, by the way. Her name is Danielle. I'm gonna butcher your last name. Sorry, Danielle. Danielle Delore. Delore.
Like D apostrophe Loeer.
Adwyer.
I'll have to have that written out so I can help you out, but my auditory stuff doesn't work like that.
But if you've ever seen The Piano Lesson or The Woman in the Yard, she's an incredible actress. So she's playing one of two FBI agents assigned to the long. She's basically playing the Scully of this, devoted to an unexplained phenomenon. Of course, that sounds familiar, right? It should, but here's the twist. These two agents are highly decorated, but vastly different, and they form an unlikely bond. There's always an unlikely bond with these things. Come on, guys. So it's not a direct remake, but kind of a spiritual successor to it. So basically, I see it like this. I can see them this is Mulder, this is Scully, and then they switch roles, basically. That's kind of how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Is this going to be TV or is it going to be movie?
It's going to be a Hulu series.
Okay.
So, Coogler is writing and directing the pilot, and Jennifer Yell, who worked with him on C and the Copenhagen test, is coming on as showrunner. Chris Carter is an executive producer on it, which of course feels right. He's passing on the torch to a new generation while he keeps his hands on the franchise. So he's going to have some kind of hand in it. I mean, you can't do a show without the series creator, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Coogler talked about this project on a podcast last year and said, quote, some of those episodes, if we do our job right, will be really F-word scary.
Oh.
Yeah, he said somebody wash his mouth out with soap. That's what
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Oh, my freaking ears.
Of course you do. Of course, that's what we want to hear, of course, right? So he even mentioned speaking with Gillian Anderson about the reboot, which is a nice touch. So no words whether David Duchovny or her will be involved in this, honestly. I'm excited to see what Coogler does with this. What are you guys thinking so far? Have you guys ever watched the X-Files before or any of the movies?
So
go ahead.
I loved the X-Files as a kid. So so for me, Coogler on it, like it's a home run. Like Coogler has touched everything he has touched in the world of entertainment has been phenomenal. So I can't wait to see what he does.
Okay.
I watched a couple of episodes of the X-Files, when my parents weren't around to turn the channel, I guess you could say,
right.
when I was younger. But just because I grew up in that time period. It's like it was like just a societal norm that you knew about it, even if you didn't watch it. I'm more worried. I'm gonna agree that this guy, I've never heard of him because that's just not my way of doing things. I don't watch a lot of movie or TV all that much, but I'm worried that he's going to make it just like a straight up remake and not an actual sequel. I don't know. That's just a worry I have when it comes to trying to revamp a series from like a few decades ago, because they're trying to like kind of grasp the golden day of the series rather than make something new that kind of expands the series out.
Well, you got to
go
remember that this series has been rebooted not once but twice already with both Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny with the same creator as well.
Yep.
So it's honestly Ryan Coogler has talked about how to come about this, and so far with Black Panther, Sinners, Fruitvale Station, even let's see what else he's done a bunch of stuff. The first Creed movie. He's knocked it out the ballpark.
Well, I'm gonna go with y'all and like optimistic for it. Yay. Because if I have two people singing this praises, I'm gonna be like, okay, he's gonna probably do a bang up job then.
This is where I lose nerd cred because I've never watched the show.
But you like aliens, don't you? No.
You never seen X-Files?
She likes
Never
Fantastic.
watched it.
She probably watched what was that black and white one?
The Twilight Zone?
Yeah, the Twilight Zone.
No, actually, when I was a kid, the intro music to the Twilight Zone scared the bejesus out of me. I hated it. If my parents watched it at night, I would seriously like cover my ears in my room because I could hear it.
Okay, this just shows how my parents did not care. I did watch the Twilight Zone a couple of times.
Speaking of the Twilight Zone, if it was like Jordan Peele doing it, the X-Files, I would have been a little concerned.
Jordan Peele. Listen, Jordan Peele was just the host. Well, I guess he was an exec producer on there too, but still on the Twilight Zone remake. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. If you're here in the Atlanta area, it's that time of year again for the announcements of Shaky Knees 2026. Of course, if you don't know what Shaky Knees is a music festival that is held here every year with some of the best acts in music. This year we have at least 3 different headliners. On Friday night, The Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday, 21 Pilots. And for the piece of the distance, for that little sprinkle, the Gorillas.
Ooh.
On Sunday.
I'm more impressed that they have Coheed and Cambria on there. I know a lot of those people. I just know Coheed and Cambria. They're one of my favorite bands.
I'm impressed to have Danny Elfman there.
That's the other thing. I was like, what is Danny Elfman doing there?
Yeah, I do recognize some things. I recognize Danny Elfman, Jimmy Eat World, and Japanese.
I was about to say, if nobody recognized Jimmy Eat World, I'm actually shocked that you had a childhood.
I mean,
But honestly, Shaky Knees
to hip hop and R&B. Of course, besides those bands, Prodigy showing up. LCD Sound System, Modest Mouse, Japanese Breakfast, Santi Gold, and of course, my favorite, Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Gang ain't nothing to mess with. Wu-Tang Gang ain't nothing. Come on now.
Careful, we don't want to get copyright striked.
No.
Man, we're not going to get copyright strike for me doing that. We have to have actual music to do that.
Actual Wu-Tang.
Besides that's the chant that all of them do, so all the fans do, so it's no big deal.
See, right. I don't know any of this stuff.
Of course,
I'm so old.
Pre-sales for these tickets start this week, February 26th at 9 a.m. From my understanding, they're only opening it for like an hour, so make sure you're on there early. And then, of course, if you want to hear my favorite band, they're coming out with their album pretty soon on the 27th, which is the day after the 26th. The Gorillaz with their new album, The Mountain. So check that out.
Oh wow, they're still putting out new stuff.
They're still going.
Yeah, they're still
going strong.
If you ever get a chance, look up each phase that they go through for each album and whatnot. It's amazing. All right, and finally, our last story for entertainment. We don't even have this. Evil Dead Wrath has just started production, and Evil Dead Burn has not even come out yet. They're making sure they get their Evil Dead going. Exactly. So, Evil Dead Burn, of course, comes out July 24th, and Sam Raimi, of course, this has been Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell's baby since they first began. Since they did their short film, I think it was Cabin in the Woods, if I remember correctly. If you haven't seen any of the Evil Dead series, of course, the original series follows our hero Ash Williams, who deals with a book made his skin and that basically turns his friends into deadites.
This is my boomstick.
Yeah.
Yes, I know this one.
The last movie that they did was Army of Darkness together, as far as that series, and then did Ash vs. the Evil Dead. There was an Evil Dead reboot that didn't have anything to do with that Ash character in 2013. And then, of course, recently we had Evil Dead Rise in 2023, which is just set in the world. So a lot of these movies are set in the same, I would say maybe the same world, but not necessarily dealing with the same character.
Didn't they do a series for a minute?
Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Evil Dead.
Yeah. It had
wasn't Lucy Lawless in it?
Yes, she was.
That's why she knows. That's why she knows. That's one of her goddesses right there.
I love Lucy Lawless. If I could meet someone, I'd meet her. Bad.
I mean, legit and valid because she's an awesome person. I got yelled at for cussing too much. I can't do it anymore. Question. Who's the dude in this like oval picture over here?
That is Mr. Ash Williams.
Okay, how much you want to bet that
Bruce Campbell?
How much you want to bet he got chosen for the role just because he could do that face?
Nope. They actually, if you go back, he's been with the series since the movie came out in like the early 80s, but they did that film in 1979, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the short film.
Yeah. So he's been with it forever. They're like they grew up together.
Yeah, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are like, close as Corey mentioned.
I do recommend 2 Bruce Campbell movies before I move on. Bubba Hotep, where he plays Elvis, and the late Ozzie Davis plays J.F. Kennedy in it. Black man playing J.F. Kennedy, which is
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then My Name is Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce Campbell plays himself, and he gets recruited to take out an ancient mummy in a small town.
I haven't seen either of those. Those are on my list right now.
Yes. But that's it for entertainment. You guys, of course, head over to Total Apex Entertainment. Let us know what you guys are thoughts on each one of these topics and everything. And now, from one industry standard to another, here is gaming.
Oh, here's my thing. Where's my thing?
Well, thank you, Corey, for that lovely introduction. For today in gaming, actually just in fandoms in general, who's ready to celebrate the 30th birthday of one of the most iconic pop culture phenomenons ever?
What is it?
It is the 30th birthday / anniversary of Pokemon.
Yay, everybody clap. We're old.
Gotta catch them all.
Because dang it, I'm 6 years older than Pokemon. Sucks. Anyway, so in light of the fact that they are, I'm not scared of them knowing how old I actually am, because they'll be wrong. I'm 1,000 years old in my soul.
Pokemon.
In my soul, I'm 1,000. I'm old. Anyway, so to celebrate this, milestone, they have decided to create 1,025 different logos for each and every Pokemon. Well, for each Pokemon, basically. Over 1,000 Pokemon, each of them have their own 30th logo for the anniversary. As you can see from the background images, this is actually a wall of the logos in the Osaka Namba Station in Japan. See how long the walls are?
Oh my god.
Yeah. This was tweeted about on the PokeTimes Twitter on X, or X, not Twitter anymore. And basically, a lot of fans are going gaga trying to find what their favorite Pokemon's logo would look like, and they're pretty simple. They're not going to go like full tilt, giving them all like unique identifications and everything, but each and every Pokemon is on a number 30 on the wall.
Wow.
Yeah, that probably they probably planned this I have to say they had planned this like months in advance, because that's a lot of drawing. So kudos to the artists that had to draw all these things.
When you guys played Pokemon, let's say the first one, who did you choose?
It depended on how easy I wanted to play the game.
Yeah, I went with Charizard.
Charizard is the easy level. I chose Bulbasaur for the longest time.
Yeah, I want to say I also might have chosen Bulbasaur.
Yeah. But if I wanted to have an easy time, I did choose Charmander.
Charmander, man. That's the easy level.
That was the easy level. But yeah, I did choose Squirtle a couple of times. I like to pick and choose. It just depended on my mood when I restarted the game.
Yeah.
Now, if Pikachu could have been chosen, I was a Pikachu nerd.
Not till Pokemon Yellow.
Not till later developments.
Darn it. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I got for gaming. We did have other stuff happening in gaming, but I thought this would be like a nice little yay, happy something grew up with us and now it's hitting a milestone and they're celebrating with this large dedication to it.
Yeah, we could use a little cheerfulness every once in a while. It's just
It's just nice, little fun, whimsical. Get to see all those nice and I just noticed Pikachu's 30th logo, and it's like the most basic one that you could possibly do.
Yes.
It's just.
Can I hijack the gaming segment to shout out something that I just saw on Twitter?
Considering we hijack each other all the time, go ahead.
All right, I'll go ahead and hijack. So this is in sports gaming news. Adam Jones, former Baltimore Orioles center fielder, former Baltimore Orioles center fielder, has announced he'll be a new legend in MLB The Show 26.
Oh, really?
Yeah. New legend,
snap.
Adam Jones, one of the best Orioles of all time, will be in MLB The Show this upcoming season.
I don't think I played any of those kind of games in a minute. Like we used to play when I was younger. It used to be like a lot of like NBA or NFL.
Yeah.
Gonna have to give me his name again.
The Madden. But I'm a huge Adam Jones fan. Speaking of the WBC that I mentioned earlier, he has one of the most iconic plays of the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Robin, his teammate at the time, Manny Machado's home run. Crazy play. So when you pre-order today for MLB The Show, if you want to play, if you're a Baltimore fan, you want to play as Adam Jones. So
hey, you want to write an article about that and put it on gaming?
I mean,
I'm
I could, but I just the time on sports. It's so much.
Darn it. Okay, that's fine. I'll find someone else to do it. But that's all we have for gaming. Thank you for that little side tangent, Brandon. Always good to know about more gaming stuff from other people's perspectives.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Molly, for the gaming news. From living in the world of Pokemon to just living. Here's living.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would not be a segment for lifestyles without a recall.
Recalls
or two.
Not the fried rice.
This is Trader Joe's frozen chicken fried rice. Yes, Trader Joe's.
First, let me say this, Molly or Michelle. Every time I had a recall at Food Line, when I worked at Food Line, I was so upset. But go on.
So, they're recalling 3.3 million pounds of this stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy crap.
If you have this in your freezer, don't panic. Just hold on. So here's what happened. Ajinomoto, and I'm probably saying that wrong, Ajinomoto Foods North America, who makes this stuff, has received 4 separate consumer complaints about glass showing up in their product.
No.
Glass of all things, glass.
Glass.
No.
That's what
crunch.
little extra crunch and a trip to the hospital for your tongue being sliced open.
Oh,
so the USDA has reported 3,370,530 pounds of frozen chicken fried rice got the boot on February 19th. No injuries have been reported yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
However, that's a lot of fried rice.
That is.
To their credit, Trader Joe's did send out an email to their customers on February 20th. And they did also post it on their website. So it's super easy to find. You could head over to our website, totalapexentertainment.com, in order to find the full article with all the details and links that you need. And I'll just drop that in the chat for y'all since I have control of the comments.
Oh no.
Oops, that is not the link I wanted to share. I don't know why it did that. It added that little vignette thing at the end.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh,
anyways,
like an extra X. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So anyways, so most of this product, let's see, it was distributed to Trader Joe's all over the country. Some of it also went to Canada, but the Canadian product, so some of it went to Canada as well. So anywhere it's at Trader Joe's, if you bought this stuff, check your product because it's probably it. It's a 20-ounce plastic bag. There's a specific SKU number, which is 33251, and the best buy dates are between September 8th of 26 to November 17th of 2026. If you have it, do not eat it. Don't go looking to see if you can see the glass. Just don't. You might not be able to see it. It's glass. So you could either throw it away or return it to Trader Joe's and they will give you a refund. So
Question. Neither are preferable. What would you prefer? Finding glass in your food or finding plastic in your food? What would you prefer? I would prefer plastic.
Plastic. It's probably, you'd have a higher chance of actually seeing it.
Plastic, 100%. It's like the old tropes in Final Destination. Ice and glass and ice. Yep. Just look at bloodlines. Just look at the bloodlines.
Traumatized childhood. Everybody's scared of the log trucks. Now everyone's scared of the glass in the food.
Yep. So glass in your food. Now, this would not be a recall segment without something affecting children.
Of course not.
So this one goes to Meijer, which is not everywhere. So if you don't have a Meijer grocery store, actually Meijer is like it's kind of like a super Walmart kind of situation. They're really big.
Myers, I think, is part of Kroger company, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We do have them up here where I live, but they have recalled these adorable footed pajamas. 211,000 one-piece footed pajamas have been recalled. These designs you see here are not all of the designs. There are actually a lot of different designs, and they are more than one brand. The reason being that they violate the federal flammability standards for children.
I was about to say, let me guess, they can catch on fire.
So basically what that means is that they pose a serious burn risk if they catch fire. There haven't been any injuries reported so far, but it is worth returning these or and everything, because if you think about it, children don't have a lot of respect for things like open candle flames and stoves and things like that. So yeah, any place that there could be fire, not to mention a fire, but obviously that's probably the least probable situation. But these were under the Lullaby Lane and MCS brands. They are size 12, 18, and 24 months. And so that would be 12 months, 18 months, and 24 months. And there's like 10 different styles with multiple different designs. So it's crazy how many of them there are. There's just the recall site, just the list goes on. And then there's pictures of all of them and that's on Meijer's website. And again, we do have the link available through our article, which you can find at Total Apex Entertainment. And
shouldn't there be like a checklist of like proper fabrics to use in children's clothes, and that one of those check marks should be make sure material is not flammable?
Yeah, you would think so, but I mean, obviously the material is going to be flammable there, and there's no fireproof pajamas, but there are certain standards for them to be not catch fire and like completely erupt into flames instantly.
Make sure they're not atrociously flammable.
Exactly.
Let us have time to keep the fire out.
Fireproof pajamas. There's fireproof other stuff. They need someone needs to make it.
Fireproof your baby.
I mean, it's
your baby
possible. But the way you'll identify them is, of course, you purchase them. If you purchase them at Meijer, and if check the tags, that they would be Lullaby Lane or MCS. And then the tag will also say made in Thailand. And it'll have a style number, which again, you can find all of those on our website and on Meijer's website. Yeah, I mean, children's safety, it's just, you don't want to mess around with it. They were between $5 and $12, and they were sold between December of 2024 and October of 2025.
That is a huge gap right there. Holy
range. Oh gosh. Why did they now just get it's February 24th, 2026, and they're just now recalling it? Oh geez.
Yeah. So it's it's definitely something you want to check into if you might have any of these in your child's dresser. Although I don't know, with that time frame, your kid probably outgrew them, right?
Yeah, they're not wearing those anymore, especially if you only got like a 12-month-old. They grow out of those so fast, and it also depends on. So
but I mean,
growth rate.
I guess the another important thing would be like if you're shopping secondhand stuff and whatnot, is to keep an eye out for them, because I mean, these might make it, even though recalled products aren't supposed to be sold secondhand or anything. I mean, they can still show up. So
yeah, especially if they get,
I guess, keep your eyes open
before the recalls.
Yeah, and keep your children away from open flames.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which you should be doing anyway. You should be doing anyway. It might look pretty, but
here's an idea. If you don't want your kids to have these anymore, put a bonfire. If you have a bonfire, throw them in the bonfire.
Today, kids, we will learn about combustion.
Yep.
Oh no.
It's an important life lesson. They should know about it.
Exactly. Just put it in the bonfire.
Right.
That's what I have for lifestyles, but I just do want to bring up one thing that should have been in entertainment. The Voice is back.
Oh, The
for
Voice.
season 29. And there are 3 coaches this time around. Adam Levine is back, Kelly Clarkson, and John Legend. I just wrote an article about it, and you can find that on totalapexentertainment.com. So go read my article, learn all about the current season of The Voice, because it was a lot of fun to watch the first episode.
Right.
Since we're adding topics at the end of the episode, since we're adding topics and points, I'm going to add this one. Duke just handed Notre Dame their worst loss in basketball since 1898.
Since 1898 or 19?
Yes, since 1898.
Oh, wow.
100 to 56.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yep.
Real quick, and we normally don't talk about movies. So first off, I got 2 things. We'll talk about this, and then one thing I will, because this person is good. So this week, we rarely talk about the movies that are coming out this week. This week we got Scream 7 coming out. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited. Check out their popcorn buckets.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Honestly, this one, the one with he's in the booth and box and whatnot, is probably what I would get. But these are the ones that are happening at Regal and whatnot.
Do you want me to share that?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
What are we sharing?
The popcorn bucket.
There you go. Head over to Regal, of course, to purchase your tickets for Scream 7. Hopefully they send us, you know what I'm saying? Just give them a shout out.
Give them a shout out.
Right. Another thing is this, y'all. So one thing I've been doing, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen, that I've been doing is kind of doing TikTok live stream a little bit with this and everything, so people can hear us and everything. There's one person I want to shout out because of his racist undertone and inappropriateness.
Oh,
yeah. If you go by the name CJ Chargers, you've been reported, sir.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Or taking it too.
Listen, I don't joke about that kind of stuff at all. Mm-mm. He says, "Say some fried chicken for the rest of us," and then put a suggestive image on my comment section. So,
Jesus,
when did
criminy.
we talk about fried chicken?
I didn't. He's making not only
it's a
sounds like a bot,
a racial joke and a
sounds like a troll bot or a troll in general.
No, he's definitely somebody who is a troll and whatnot. But I just want to make sure that not only they got that on here, but on here as well. So
I had a sassy Southern comeback. I don't know if it was Southern, but I had a comeback, but it wasn't gonna be PG. So I will refrain. I apologize.
Sit on the sidelines with that, please.
Good.
I won't say it, but
what do we have going on this week with games, guys?
Yesterday we streamed Real Face of a VTuber, and that game is getting really, really good. It's gone much longer than I anticipated. And I've also been streaming Star Sand Island on Thursdays. Yeah.
Yes. I think we're going to try and either record or stream another episode of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, which has been a huge hit right now in the gaming world because it has been a long-awaited sequel to Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, and now we're going to see the ending of or the possibly an ending of the Poppy Playtime game series. And totally stoked about that because we now get to figure out who the prototype, which was the overall antagonist of the game, is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And possibly another game we're going to play is something called Astro Botanica, if I remember correctly. And it is a science simulation to where you are an alien just trying to understand the natural world. And for some odd reason, there is a hairless primate just hanging out with you. I guess I haven't played it yet, but one of our other writers have played it and they have enjoyed it. Aside from the backseat science of one of their family members.
All right, and what else we got going on with the sports podcast this week?
So as I laid out earlier, we got the NFL Scouting Combine this week. More NBA talk, more talk on the WNBA, CBA. More thorough discussion on that this week. More thorough NBA talk throughout the week as well. And we have a pilot this week on Thursday for a new wrestling podcast hosted by Nicholas Mullock, the fighting content manager over at Total Apex Sports. And I will be on the show as well as a kind of a through line discussion guy on there. So
it's going to be very energetic. Nicholas is very passionate about his contact sports, or not his fighting sports.
It's WWE. It's mostly just the wrestling side of things.
Yeah, just most wrestling, but he's very passionate.
Well, we got more projects in the way. Some we're not even ready to announce just yet, but stay tuned, everybody. Head over, of course, if you're here watching on the YouTube, of course. Exactly. hit that thumbs up, hit the bell, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and check out one of our many videos that we have on here. For Total Apex Media Podcast, this is episode 12, really? Are we at 12?
We're on 12.
Yes, we're on 12.
Well, I joined halfway through, so this is like my
Brandon's like, this is technically my third, so
technically my fifth or something like that.
Technically it's fifth.
All right, everybody. Have a week.